All right, so sitting on something to add a little height to your hips, cross your shins as best you can. Move your feet forward so the foot is underneath the knee. Place the hands on the thighs, lift the spine up. Take a breath in as you do. Exhale, drop the shoulders. Take another deep breath in, press down on the thighs again, press the thighs up against the hands slightly. So you feel that abdominal flex, lean back, and as you exhale, draw the back ribs in, side ribs forward, front ribs up, so the shoulders can just drop. Chin lifted to neutral, let the eyes close. Turn your palms up in your thighs unless you're doing a specific mudra to your practice. So you remove the sensation of feelings in your hands. So here we go. Another day of practice. Receiving guidance. And I think anytime we receive guidance in this practice, it's a blessed time. If you think about it, 3,000, 4,000, maybe 5,000 years ago, people didn't have as much guidance with this. It was only first written down that we know about 3,000 years ago. Everything else was word of mouth. And even before that, unless you believe in the ancient story that Shiva turned a fish into a human who paid attention to him doing yoga on the banks of the river, and then that human taught everybody yoga. Unless you want to believe that story, someone had to sit in their space and move their body. Who knows where they came up with all the postures and the work? And they figured out one thing and they shared it with somebody, and then they figured out how to take that one thing and how it affected this part and modify it and add it and add it. And 5,000 years of this build. I think it's pretty wonderful when we get guidance in our practice, whether from a teacher, a book, scripture work, audios, whatever it is, advice from a friend. Because they're sharing their experience, their story, and so you may take it, build upon it, make it part of your own, part of the fabric, the whole rug that is the world of yoga. And every time we get on the mat, even if our teacher's not here, we're taking our own experience, we're modifying it, adding to it, growing it, so then when we do share it, it lets someone else be one step farther. I've always said to those that I teach, my entire goal and purpose in this is to have no students when my time is done, but to just leave behind healthy, happy, independent practitioners, whether teachers or students or not. I want you to see farther than I can in the yoga practice because I work so hard to give you one step farther than I am. And so just as I said Tuesday, that it's always a good thing in your practice to recognize how you are showing up in the world in a good way, how you are giving to this world in the space that it's in right now, whether it's to an individual or to an organization or in a small way or in a big way. Take a moment when you go start here in the practice, and as we go through the practice today, to recognize that because you're starting with guidance, one, you're starting farther than you might have, but two, you're integrating, weaving some new things into yourself so that one day you might ultimately share something with somebody that takes them all that much farther. But there's a lot of history lifting you up so that you can lift up others. That you are not alone, even though you may not always have a teacher there with you. Everything you learned comes from Other people adding to, growing, shaping, and passing it forward so you could have it here today. The magnitude of it's astounding. And a lot of things in our world are like that. From our computers and our cell phones, to our streets, our cars, everything in our home. So my friends, again, as you go through the practice today, be aware of what you're adding to, not just how you're stretching your hamstring, but what you're learning from it that you might ultimately enjoy, connect to, fully experience it. So when you share it with others, it comes from an honest and truthful place. Because what you share will maybe go on for another 5,000 years. You have that kind of power. You're part of the history in that way. And I'm so grateful and happy that is true. Take a nice deep breath in. Bring the palms together at the chest, thumbs touching the sternum. Pinky moves away from ring finger, index away from middle. Blow them shortly 3 times and then begin. Take a breath. Bow your head. Salute the essence of yoga inside yourself. Bring your hands into the lap. Let your head rise. Your eyes open. Good. So nice to see everybody. Let's do some work. Stand on up. Go ahead and clear your mat of stuff. Have your 2 blocks nearby though. I would like for you to stand at the end of your mat facing the rest of the length of your mat. Thighs together, feet together. Have one or both of your blocks at the far end of your mat if you can, just so they'll be where your hands are probably going to be for a lot of your poses. Yep, on or off your mat, I don't care, but just step back towards the end, thighs together, feet together in Tadasana. Stretch up both arms, palms facing in, Urdhva Hastasana, so you lift and lengthen the side body and create some lateral extension of the spine. If you were in class Tuesday, I'm glad. If you weren't, they're on YouTube. Go back, check them out. But lengthen the front and back of your legs. It's not locking your knees backward, but try to stretch the knee, as Mr. Angar would say, from extending through the hamstring so you feel the buttock lift, and flexing the thighs, not to push back, because pushing your knee back is not a length. Push through the foot so the quad in the front of the leg pulls up. That's length. If you're someone that has a shoulder or a neck issue, learning to extend from the legs actually helps pick up your spine and decompress the neck. A lot of our standing poses are there not just to work your hips or make your legs stronger, but to teach your legs to fire and activate so the pelvis can lift, or the muscles in the pelvis lift, to lift the spine. So keep your arms up, keep your 4 fingers tight together, your thumb in your palm as best you can. And just for a moment, take a step with your right foot forward, at least 3 foot up there. 1 big long step out there. And then straighten both legs. Keep your arms up. So you got this nice long big step. Now be careful not to step your right foot in front of your left foot. You're not walking on a balance beam. You want to keep your feet in line with your hips by and large. So when you step that forward, check in with your arms. Did one arm drop lower than the other? Did both arms come down? Because it's incredibly hard to hold your arms up and step forward. So here, just even in this extension, before we do any of the other versions of the pose, we start to check with our legs to make sure we're engaged. Arms are up, thighs are strong. Stretch through the back leg, stretch the back heel down if you can. If your back heel can't hit the floor, that's okay. Just to lengthen it a little bit so there's some extension of that quad Achilles. And then, keeping both legs active, bend the right knee just into Virabhadrasana 1 for a moment. When you bent the knee, did you kind of lean your chest forward and it feel like your abdomen dropped towards your thigh? Straighten your right legs, Lift your abdomen up, lift the ribs up, extend up nice and tall through the back body. And then when you bend the right knee now, set the hips down, but keep lifting your spine. I would say your hips going down, your spine going up, you should try to keep all the height you had when your leg was straight. Even though that's not technically possible, you still work the back muscles as if you were trying to hold on, you were trying to extend up against the drop of the hips. As if by magic, your upper body would somehow float up off the pelvis. And breathe. Work warrior one for a moment. Take a nice breath. Try to keep the lift to the spine. Keep the arms. This is where the core muscles getting stronger in our standing poses relieve back issues. Step the right foot back. Woo! All right. Someone messaged me today and said all this symmetrical, isometric work doesn't actually build up a heart rate or anything like that. So we're going to prove them wrong. They're in here. Don't worry. They're getting it. Arms up. It wasn't Tristan. It wasn't the dogs either. It's someone on the screen. Left foot forward. Step it up. Straighten your legs. Try not to bend your knee into a lunge when you first step your foot forward. Just stretch out. Don't lock it, but just glide into it. Stretch both legs long. Stretch your right heel down. Challenge your balance so your strength has to work. Pick up your body. Pick up your spine. And then exhale. When you bend your left knee, don't let your upper body collapse or your belly come forward towards the left thigh. Pick up more from your core. Make your legs stretch into this so your spine doesn't make up for tight hip back. Your knee may not bend a lot, but who cares? All the ideas that we're supposed to land into this perfect way of the pose is not what any teacher I ever studied with taught me. The perfect form of the pose is the pose you're in right now. Not the pose you're going to be in tomorrow, not the pose you were in when you were 20 years younger or before the injury. You are here right now. You are working on and adding to the experience of now that you will ultimately share with someone later. What you shared 20 years ago is past. You may share it again one day, but right now you're building up something different. Take a breath. Stretch that right heel down. Pick up that core. Try to keep your arms up. Straighten the leg first. Step the left foot back to the right foot. Woo! Keep those arms up. We're not out of the woods yet. Take a nice breath. If you feel tingling or numbness in the arms, it's okay to interlace the fingers behind your head, moving your elbows back and your hands against your head. But challenge yourself. If you're just tired, be tired. It's okay. We spend all our day, like there's all this stress and people are worried and who knows what's going on in the world. Today, you're going to spend your energy on you and only you. So either arms up or hands behind your head. Step the right foot forward. If you have a shoulder injury, of course, you can bring your arms down or put your hands on your shoulders, but only if you have an injury. If not, hands behind your head or arms straight up. And don't bring your arms down and then relift them. Try to pick one and work with it. All right. Take a nice breath. Spin your left heel in towards the side so you open your hip up to the wide side of the mat. So you're going to warrior two, not warrior one. So spin your left heel in so your left toes point out to the left, and then twist your upper body to the left, opening up your hips and pelvis. Don't let your legs unwork. Stretching up through the arms, still tall. Bend the right knee deep. But when you bend the knee deep, sitting your hips down, did your chest and abdomen sink down? Stretch your arms back up. Or with hands behind your head, pushing your head against your hands, especially those of you with neck issues. One of the ways that you start to restructure the neck is to interlace your fingers behind your head. Move your elbows in line with your shoulders and push your head against your hands to train your neck and upper back muscles. Tristan's demoing really well. So everyone straighten your right leg. Pick your spine up. Stretch both sides of your ribs tall to the armpit, armpit to elbow. So you're lifting and extending. And then when you bend the right knee, the hips actively go down, but the sides still lift and extend out wide. Go, bend the knee. Work your left leg. Stretch the back side of the leg. Take a breath. Stretch both arms straight up again. If your hands were down, Turn your upper body forward towards the right knee. But when you do, don't let your belly abdomen sink down. Lift up taller through the ribs. Take a couple breaths here. So you keep your left heel down as best you can, your left toes pointing out to the side as you rotate into this version of Warrior One. So you build up the lift and twist. So you build up the stretching part from the lift, and the twist doesn't just stretch you, but it requires a bunch of muscle to do this. This is core muscle. This is leg muscle. You are spending your energy totally on you. You all right there, Lena? You good? Good. All right. Take your left heel up off the floor. Step your right foot back to your left foot. Woo. Back to Tadasana. Arms up. Take a breath. If your arms are killing you, put your hands behind your head, but challenge yourself. Step your left foot forward, 3 foot up, if not more. Straight legs. I always want you to go to straight legs as quick as you can. This challenges your balance. The more you challenge your balance, the more you will challenge your leg muscles, your core muscles, your back muscles. Spin your right heel in so the toes point out to the right. Turn your whole upper body to the right, Warrior Two. Start with both legs straight. Stretch your ribs up tall, and then bend the left knee. Don't take your arms down. Stretch them up tall if you can, or your hands behind your head. We're not doing the arms out wide thing. When you bend the left knee, did you let your abdomen and body dump forward? Do you feel your core flex? Not to suck in, but to lift up. Stretch the back side of the right leg by pushing through the heel so the buttocks flex, and bend the left knee deeper. Head pushes back into hands. That does not mean tuck your chin, Shuba. Chin up, dear. There you go. As my teacher would say, have some yogic snobbery. You too, Helena. Chin up, dear. Curve that neck. Thank you. The natural, push your head into your hands. Stretch the elbows back if you're one of those people. If your arms are in the air, keep going. Stretch up taller. Stretch your ribs up. All right. Turn your upper body to face over the left knee bent. You don't lean over it, you just twist your core, twist your torso. The right heel stays down, but now you're turning your upper body to the left, facing the body over that left knee. If your hands are in your head, push them. Push both against each other. If your arms are up in the air, stretch taller. But both people sets, lift the ribs, twist the ribs. Flex the right thigh, twist the right thigh. Take your right heel up, step your left foot back, feet together, Tadasana. You can either have the hands, try to keep your arms in the positions when you do this every single time. I see a lot of people just drop their arms and then jump back and throw their neck shoulder into it. Try to keep the extension. Step the right foot forward, keep the arms working, either behind your head or up in the air. Both legs straight. Both legs straight, stretch your left heel down as best you can. Whether your arms are up in the air or hands behind your head, you'll probably need 2 blocks, so just be aware. Know where they are, don't come out of the pose and get them yet. Chest up, nice and long, extend the spine. Keep both legs straight, either hands behind your head or arms straight. Lower your chest down like you're gonna lay your chest bone on your right thigh. You won't lay it on it, because most of us aren't that flexible, but lay down and hold whenever you feel like you're about to fall out of the pose, hold that point. Hold the half fold. If your arms are in line with your ears, beautiful. Good job, Shuba. Good job, Micah. Move those elbows back, dear. Lower your chest down, flex your thighs, and just hold. Tristan's doing a real good job of straight spining it. Just do the best you can. Straight leg, Caitlin, you got this. Yeah, girl, stretch that leg. Don't lock the knee, but stretch it long. All right, hands on the floor or on your blocks or on your chair. Right leg shifting back. When your hands hit the blocks, did you feel all the muscles in your back quit and your legs just kind of drop out of the pose? It's very easy when we get the arms into this to lose the core body and we shrug into our neck. Lift your head and look out like you're looking out away from your pelvis, so you're looking forward. And then for a moment, keep your body at this level. Flex your legs, lift your core, and just bend your elbows enough to pick your hands up off the blocks a couple inches and hold. It's more important that you hold the work. So if you have to bend the knee a little bit, that's okay. Now keep your legs flexed, keep your spine stretched, take your hands back to the block. So they're just there for balance, not there for holding you up. Very nice. Don't be afraid to use your cat to help the pose, Micah. Pets are a wonderful thing to help you get through the yoga practice. How about you? Yeah. All right, take a nice breath. Stretch your arms out in front of you as far as you can reach, or hands behind your head. Pick your spine straight up. Bend the right knee into warrior one. Ooh, we're going strong today. Yeah, I see some of you dropping out looking at your phones or TVs. You don't need to worry about it. Think you get away with that in yoga class? Nuh-uh. Spin the left heel in, go to warrior two. Twist the upper body to the left as you spin the left heel in so your left toes point out. Either arms up or hands behind your head. Hands come behind your head if you're just dying tired. Push your hands into your head. If you're doing that, if your arms are up in the air, squeeze the bicep towards the ear and lift taller through your ribs. Take a nice deep breath. Rotate back to warrior one. Keep your heel down, but twist your ribs into it again. So we're rehashing some of the old stuff. We're going back to the forms we've already done so you can feel differences, you can adjust and work with it. And all right, I like to say you do it in threes. One time you learn it, two, you can feel it, three, you do it. Pick your left heel up. Try to keep your arms either behind your head or straight up in the air. Step your right foot back to left foot. Feet together. Try not to dance around. Step your opposite foot forward. Should be your left. Long legs. Don't start bending. Get it up there and stretch it out. Stretch your legs long. Get your legs pushing through the floor so you can feel your core flex. You can feel your thighs work. You can activate your core, not to crunch, but to pull in and up so your ribs float. All right, whether hands behind your head or arms up in the air, fold forward at the hips and go deep as you can, safely and comfortably. And what I mean by safely is like if you start to feel pain somewhere, back up and hold that spot. Comfortably means you might be here a while. I don't know. Elbows go back, Aaron. Chest goes down, elbows up. There you go. Good Pratima. Good arms out, Shuba. Come on, Katie, you can do it. Down you go. Yeah, I saw that look. It's fine. I like it now that my students like glares at me or record it for posterity. If your hands are behind your head, push your head into your hands. If your arms are out, stretch your ribs longer. Take a breath. Long legs, take your hands to the blocks, chair, floor, whatever you're using. That's also nice. And then check in. Which side of your back stopped working? Which is this harder on this side versus the other? Get into what you're feeling because you might meet someone in class one day or a friend who's like, oh, I've had this issue with this hip or this like that. And you're like, oh, no, I got you because I've got some experience. You're passing 5,000 years of knowledge on, but yours is the knowledge that matters in the moment. All the teachings, all the lessons, all the sutras, all the alignments don't matter unless we know how to use them for ourselves and ultimately to the world around us. So you might feel your arms, you're putting a lot of weight on the blocks or floor, you're just kind of leaning into it. Bend your elbows and just pick your fingers up a couple inches off the blocks. Just float them for a second. Make your legs do the work. Stretch your legs long if you can, and it's okay to bend the knee if you need to for your balance and to hold the pose. But do the best you can to ask yourself to feel a little bit more. Look out in front of you to stretch your shoulders, neck. But always ask yourself to feel fully what you're going through here. You don't have to hide from the yoga practice. You all came in and logged in. You harassed me for codes, or you didn't. No one harassed me for a code. I always share openly. All right, hands down, but don't let your body weight just drop in the block. Keep your legs active. Harass isn't the right term. You reminded me to send you codes. right? We're all here to support each other. All right, take a breath. Hands behind your head or arms straight out in front of you. Pick your spine up. Bend the left knee into warrior one, stretching that right heel down. Warrior one first. We're not in warrior two yet. There you go, Pratima. Warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. So warrior one is your front, your knee, your left leg is bent. Your chest is facing your left leg with your right leg stretched behind you. Arms up or hands behind your head. Good. Now spin your right heel in so your right toes point out to the right. Turn your upper body to the right so you untwist the spine in that way. Take the breath. Lift your ribs up tall. Feel your ribs. Take a deep breath in, and whatever lung you can breathe into the deepest is the most open. The other one probably means you're gripping up or you're leaning that way really hard. So lift that side up higher. Move your left knee over your left heel, Tristan. Open that hip. Ooh, that hip's tight. All right, take a breath. Keep your right heel on the floor. Twist your upper body to face over the left thigh again. Warrior one. Yeah, I did it in a different order. Sue me. It's easy to get into anticipation and into old habits, and old habits make us not think. That's why they're habits. Stuff we don't think about. We just do without thinking. All right. Pick your right heel up. Step your left foot back to your right. Tadasana. Woo! That's hard, huh, Enzo? That's a good look. Take a breath, either arms up or hands behind your head. Hands into the head or head up with the arms. Step the right foot forward. Ooh, that puppy. He don't care. Bend the right knee, warrior one. So front right knee bent, back left leg straight, chest up. Take a breath. Spin your left heel in so your toes come to the floor. Turn your upper body to the left. So you're in warrior two. With the upper body, hands behind your head or arms straight up in the air. I really want to encourage this different extension of the arms, lifting, because today is really about getting your legs and your upper body to extend and lift. Very nice, everybody. Good, Helena. Keep those elbows back, friend. You're going to do better. This will help your neck. Chin up. You got your head behind your hands. Chin's up. Elbows back. So the right knee is bent. Left leg is straight. Everybody, take your right elbow to your right knee. What was that? On your knee, not above, not past it. So your right elbow's on your knee. Your hand does not have to be behind your head. Tristan's doing hard mode. Right. Stretch your left arm out along the same line as your rib, so your left bicep's laying near the ear. Stretch the elbow straight. So your left side's nice and long. Now we're going to challenge the strength. Keep the right knee bent. Push through the left foot. From here, stretch your right ribs long. And now take your right hand to your left hand, but don't lift your ribs up. I'm a bad man. Bend that right knee deep. Straighten those elbows out. A few seconds. If you have to take your hands behind your head because your arms are dead, do it. But keep your ribs long. Take a breath. Take your upper body straight up. Keep your knee bent. Keep your left heel on the floor. Turn your upper torso to the right so you're facing out over the right thigh. Warrior one again. So we challenge rotation. We challenge the core muscles to move us, to free the spine. This can be very exhausting, very challenging. If you have back pain, this will not be an easy thing because you are asking muscles to work that have not done a lot of the same work for a long time. It is okay to do it in small steps and challenge yourself. And small steps can be a big challenge. We're not making giant leaps here. Take your right step, take your right foot back to your left foot, Tadasana. Keep your arms up or hands behind your head, one of those two. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Bend the left knee. Bit of a Drasana 1. Wonderful pose for stretching the psoas, the hips, and also training the core and back muscles. When you bent your knee, did you keep your core and side body stretched? Do it with the legs straight and then bend the knee. Try not to put yourself in a kink and then unwork the kink. It's like, you know, handicapping yourself. Take a breath, spin your right heel in so your toes point out to your right. Turn your upper body to face the same direction as your right toe, so warrior 2. Arms are up or hands behind your head. Just always assume that's one of the two positions. Right, left knee is deeply bent. Take a breath. Take the left elbow down to the knee. Strong legs. Can you still extend your rib cage? Use your core muscles not to suck in and crunch you down, but to pull your rib cage up high. Stretch your right arm long over your head, not straight up to the ceiling, but laterally. So your biceps almost laying on your ear. Push your head up into your arm a little bit. Teach your upper spine to help flex and lift. Take a breath. Strong legs. Here we go. Take your left hand to your right hand. Hold. You got it, Lena. You got this. Come on, Caitlin. You can do it. Straighten those elbows, everybody. Bend that left knee, Barb. You got this. Take a breath. Bring your body up. Turn your body to the left, facing your chest over the left thigh. Are we awake yet? Are we warm? Are we aware? Do you have a cramp? I'm happy for you, right? You came here. You're gonna get the hot catchphrases. They haven't changed. 17 years I've done yoga. I've not changed any of it. I still tell the same bad jokes. All right, step your left foot back to your right foot. Arms up. Either arms straight or hands behind your head. Take your right foot forward. Step it up. Spine long lifted. Really extend. If you step your foot forward and then leave your knee bent, you're just letting your back collapse. Flex the core muscles and lift your ribs higher. From here, I'm going to ask that you turn your upper body to the right. So you're twisting to the right deeper with your chest. Your left leg stays back there and straight, but this is like a revolved form of it. So twist to your right as much as you can. Your balance really going to go off with this one, because your left leg has to stay so strong and lifted that it's not used to it. So don't let your left hip collapse forward. Keep pushing your left buttock back and up. There you go, Tris. And then turn your ribs, turn your bottom floating ribs to the right. Like you were going to look out, your ribs were going to face out over your right hip. Now take a breath, bend the right knee.
Hey, Dustin, my video has stopped. I'm going to try and re-log in.
Sure, no problem. So as you twist to your right, bending the right knee, can you move your upper ribs, upper chest deeper? And now, ready for the fun part? Bend the right knee deeper. Try and take your left hand onto a block, a chair, or the floor on the outside of your left, or inside of your right foot. Excuse me. Inside, Tristan. Yeah, inside. I'm not worried about that. Sorry. Did you lose part of your twist the moment your hand hit the ground? Of course we did, because we're overusing the upper back, or overusing the arms. Use your legs more. So the right knee is bent. There's a block on the inside of your right foot. Hand is on that block. You're twisting your ribs to the right. So take a moment when you exhale and lift your left hand an inch up off the block and twist deeper. Now that your core muscles are into it. And after you twist it deeper, stretch your right arm straight up. Stretch your right arm overhead like you're going to lay the bicep on the ear. Even if you only go just a little, you still move a little bit. Take a breath. Left hand can go back on the block. We'll hold here for a moment. Flex your core muscles, pull them up to lift your ribs, and like you're gonna widen your low back. There you go. This will make your pelvis feel stable. Stretch both arms straight out with the ears. Pick your chest straight up, facing your chest over your right thigh to warrior one. You were very close to it the whole time. The right knee stays bent. Take a breath. Step your right foot back. Woo. Step your left foot up between your hands, or between the blocks. Step your left foot forward, I'm sorry. Left foot forward, 3 foot. Both legs straight. Now that both legs are active, take a nice breath. Your arms are in the air. You're behind your head. Turn your body to the left. The more you twist your upper torso to the left, the better. Move your ribs around, but don't let your right buttock fall down. Lift your buttock up. Then twist your core muscles as much as you can. It's like you're going to turn your rib cage to face out over your left thigh. Very good, Barb. Excellent. Nice, Helena. Don't just turn your head and neck. Twist the middle rib cage as hard as you can. This is where core muscle and lateral and back come in to stabilize the spine. This is where we get a lot of back relief. Bend the left knee. Yeah. Twist more. Don't let the right buttock come down. Lift it up. Bend the left knee. You got it. All right. Exhale. Laterally stretch over that right leg. Take your right hand down towards the inside of your left foot. Either block, floor, chair, head, whatever. And then active right leg. Lift the right buttock up. And now, because you dumped it all into your arm, float your right hand off the block an inch. And hold. Left arm stretches straight up. Stretch the arm overhead laterally, like you're going to lay your bicep on your ear. Do the best you can. Even if you just get your arm straight up and it moves just a little bit because you're tight in the shoulder, you're working out a neck thing. The more we link to extend the arms in this way, like we've been doing the whole class, it frees up a lot of the shoulder neck. You may take your right hand back to the block, but rotate more. Just take a breath and twist a hair, and then you can drop your hand to the block and use it for balance. Get into your power. Even if your power is only like a second and a half of power, it's still yours. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed if there's only a little bit today. We're all giving you everything we've got. But right now, you're spending it on you, not on worry, not on the news, not on Zoom conferences. I know this is a Zoom conference to be technical, but do the best you can. Putting all of your energy into you for just a moment, what you're feeling, how much you want to throw something at me. Don't, because it'll just break your phone. Stretch both arms out, pick the chest up. Take a breath, step your left foot back to your right foot. Woo! Keep those arms up. Where are we at time-wise? Oh, we got all the time in the world. Let's do this. Right foot forward. Twist your upper body to the right. So that your chest is going to face out over your right hip. Once you've twisted as much as you can, keep your left buttock lifted. Stretch your left elbow out over the left foot. So you lean forward, twist to your right, and stretch over the right leg, taking your left hand down to a block, to the floor, or something on the inside of the foot. So revolve triangle. Both legs are still as actively straight as they can be. Lengthen them out. Don't lock the knee down, but make it long. Twist your ribs again. Now that you twisted with your hand down, so now your shoulder did a bunch of the work, take a breath. Stretch your right arm straight up to help. Float the hand up off the block an inch, twist the ribs deeper. Use your core. Now that you've twisted a little deeper, you may take the hand to the block just to balance. Take a few breaths. Good. Bend the right knee. Did you let your left butt drop down? Did you lean all your weight into the block? You want to almost float up off of a lot of the props. They're there for balance today. Stretch both arms straight out over your right thigh. Pick your chest up. Stretch your left heel down, warrior one. Core pulls in and up to float the ribs. Spin your left heel in so your toes point out to the left. Turn your upper body to face the same direction as your toes. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes to face the same direction as your left toes. Press the head, arms up, head up, or head into hands, arms into hand, or with the hands behind the head. Fold forward, beside of Padottanasana, or fold forwards, standing straddle stretch. Take your hands down to the floor or blocks whenever you've gone down, but notice how the minute your hands get to the floor, the tendency is to round the shoulder neck. Keep your spine long. Let your legs flex and work. And once you're down as low as you can go, comfortably, safely, bend the elbows and float your hands off the floor an inch and hold. Feel your legs flex. Flex them, keep them flexed, then you can touch the floor again. Just don't let your legs lose their work. Let your head hang, your upper body hang deeper into it as long as you can keep your thighs flexed. And breathe. So now as you go into an inversion and a forward fold. Take a couple breaths. Bring your body up, strong legs. Turn your right toes out. Turn your upper body to face over the right thigh. Bend the right knee, warrior one for a moment. I didn't say pick your left heel up off the floor. Keep your left heel back where it was. Take a breath. Step the right foot back to the left foot. Nice, 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 nice. Ready? Left foot forward. What we did, warrior one first. Bend the left knee, warrior one. I remember. Turn your upper body to the left. As you turn your upper body to the left, even if you have to straighten the leg again, I didn't ask you to do it with your leg straight. So straighten your leg if you need to, but then rotate your torso to the left, extending and rotating your upper body. And as you rotate your upper torso to the left, lean your chest over the left thigh with the twist. Try to maintain a little bit of the twist so your right leg has to fire, your left leg has to fire. When you've gone over as best you can, take your right hand to the block. Like most of us, the second we touch the block, we collapse a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't change what I say. Stretch your left arm up to help lift your chest. Try not to throw the arm behind you, but line it up with your shoulder. No, up, over your head. Up. Float the right hand off the block an inch so you feel your legs flex. Take the breath, twist the ribs. When you exhale, take your hand back down, Use it for balance, not for all the torque and work. So you've got this nice revolved triangle, twisting, extending, lengthening the spine. Take a couple breaths. Good. Bend your left knee. Stretch both arms out, pick the chest up, warrior one. Spin the right heel in so your right toes point out to the side. Warrior two. Roll the chest open the same direction as the toes. Arms up or hands behind your head. Straighten your left leg, turn your left toes to point the same direction as your right toes. Fold forward as best you can. When you've gone down as best you can, flex your thighs, unlock your knees, lift your legs, lift your hips. Now hands to the floor. Once you get there, float your hands up an inch, re-engage your legs, and then you can take your hands down, let your head hang, let your upper body hang. If you ever feel like your legs unflexed, just float your hands up for a moment, challenge them to refire, not to push your knee back, but to lift the front and the back side of the leg as long. That's what I talked about Tuesday. Mr. Angar would say, stretch the knee, and say lock it, but he wanted the front and back of it stretched long. It's very challenging for those of us that are hypermobile to learn the difference, but it's worth experimenting. Let the head hang, fold in the fold, take a breath or two. Bring your body up. Turn your right toes out. Bend the right knee. Roll the chest forward towards the left, towards the right thigh. Step your right foot back to your left foot. Ooh. Bring your arms down. Oh, thank God. If you have two blocks, grab them now. Take one block tall at one end of your mat, and the other block on edge, as you can see here. You're going to sit on the floor facing away from the blocks and lay back so the block on your shoulder blades, not at your top of your joint, but on the flat of your shoulder blades, right in the middle of your upper back. Not the middle of your back, middle of your upper back. So it opens your chest and your arms can hang. And then the block behind the skull with your block tall, so your head is higher than your ribs. This should feel really great after what I just put you through. Let your eyes close. We use a few minutes here to renew the body. As you work hard, you play hard. So take your time here, my friends. Connect to what you went through and what you got, how it made you feel, what you may have learned or connected to about yourself, what you want for yourself tomorrow. Because what you do today is what you'll create tomorrow, right? You plant the seeds, so they'll grow. And ultimately, what we grow, we share with others. Mr. Angar would talk about in yoga philosophy that the fruits of our labor are not ours, only the labor itself. And like the fruit tree, we grow and create all of these wonderful things, and we ultimately give them all away. It's like the apples that fall from the tree. So in this next few moments, my friends, plant some seeds. Something that you may have got from this that's positive. The energy to make a phone call. An idea to do this with a friend online between the two of you. Whatever it might be that came to you. It's the fruit that you will give to the world that in this chaotic time will nourish not just yourself, but the world around you. If something does grow, sometimes it takes a long time to grow fruit. But plant a seed very deep in the soil of your mind, churned up, tilled up as it is from the practice, so that what you want for yourself and ultimately the world tomorrow will grow there. Each deep breath in, slow breath out, and rest and enjoy the fruits of your yogic practice. Take a nice deep breath in. On your exhale, stretch your arms overhead. Let the cool air come in on your next inhale to invigorate you from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Let it settle in place with each next inhale after that, exhale after that, to nourish and grow that seed that you planted here today. So whatever it becomes for you, you ultimately will end up giving to the world. There's no doubt of that. Because you live in this world, you're also powerful in it. Let it settle, be nourished with each breath that you take after this, reminding you that it's always there, that you ultimately give and receive. 5,000 years of history and more, and you've added a little bit to it. And I'm ever so grateful for that. Bend your knees, roll your body to the right side. Slowly up you come. All right. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, bring the palms together to the chest until we meet again. Namaste. All right. You want to ask a question for a minute or two, please go ahead, unmute yourself. Give a couple minutes here. My tacos aren't here yet, so, but when it's taco o'clock, I'm out.
So in that last restorative pose, should
Yeah, buddy.
our hips be seated like a chair and then we like arch our back, or do we tuck our hips to keep the line?
You tuck your hips to keep the line more or less, so you're not sitting like with your pelvis flat in this domed spine. You just let your pelvis, you kind of roll back towards the sacral plate.
Gotcha.
Good. Next.
That's another question.
Hi,
When
Nita.
when your front leg, or is, say if you're stretching the right leg in the front and then you're shifting your body on the same side,
Huh?
how do you keep your balance? I kept losing my balance all the time.
Yeah, so one of the easy ways to practice it, grab a chair. One of the easy ways to practice it at home is to use a chair in the early days. So when you step your foot forward, if you step your right foot in front of your left foot, that narrows the base for the pelvis in your spine. So one, make sure your feet are a little farther apart. All right, and then two, Tristan's gonna step her left foot forward real quick. And she's got this chair here. She's gonna put both hands on the chair and twist towards it. So that can help you get the rotation to learn to open the upper back. So use a chair, you can use a wall, post in your house, whatever you got. Good. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
That's a good way to start getting your body comfortable with it. But the number one thing I always see is people step their one foot in front of the other. So that's the first place to check. And then after that, it's practice until you don't lose your balance. I lose my balance all the time.
Yeah.
She does. All right, good. Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you, Chaya.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you, Pratima.
Yeah,
And
thank
I'm
you
glad
so
you're all
much.
here. And it's also nice to see everybody. I hope you have a good weekend. Tuesday, we're back on, all things normal. All right, good. Bye, everybody. Thank you. I'm so happy to see everyone's smiling faces. Bye, Aaron. Good to see you
Bye.
again.
Hey, Dustin.
Bye, Caitlin, Stu.
Wait.
Ashley. What?
So I missed like the last two classes. I've been looking on YouTube and I can't find those videos from
Oh, really?
Yeah, or Tuesday.
Okay. I'll check and see what's going on with them. If for some reason they're not up, I have access to all of this and I can post it all up there.
Okay, cool. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Bye.
Thank y'all. Bye.